Habit number 3, our meetings become less important. You've heard me talk about this already a little bit, but it is definitely the most common email I get or lament on our message boards. No one comes to our meetings. And often the follow-up to that is either the precursor or the follow-up is, our group stinks. No one comes to our meetings. Or no one comes to our meetings, comma, our group stinks. And I always say, wait, ho. No one comes to your meetings, probably true if you're saying it. But your group stinks, hold on. What do you do? And I say, what kind of events do you have? And they get all kinds of answers just like yours. We have a spring carnival. We support teachers. We fundraise for supplies for the school. We try to grow involvement. We have family events. And I say, wow, awesome. Your group doesn't stink. Your meeting attendance stinks, but your group doesn't. And what I tell folks is, the habit we have to make, the habit we have to break, is measuring your success by meeting attendance. It's just a really poor measure. Have you been to one of your meetings?
Yeah. They are awesome.
Right? They're awesome? I told you you're crazy, right? I told you you're crazy. I knew so. Yeah. Judge, I asked for a verdict right away, please. Yes, crazy, absolutely. Right? And that's true, too. The folks in this room, if the school held a let's watch the janitor screw in the light bulbs night, we'd all go. We'd bake cookies. We'd sell them for $1 each. We'd have a sign-in sheet and soft drinks in the back. Right? But we are nuts. We're nuts. For the average humans in the world, meetings, and even for us too, meetings stink. How many times have you listened to someone read the minutes from the last meeting? Ooh, love that one. Right? Meetings stink. It'll never change. They might be necessary. They're less necessary today with email and good websites and things than they ever were. But there's still a role for them. If you have an event coming up, you want to get together and really bang some things out, great. If you need 4 people, you need 7, fine. You're never going to have 50. If you have 50, I'd say tell them to go back home and come back to your next family event. Honestly, if you had a vote, if you had a new parent at your school that said it, and I've heard this 1,000 times, someone comes up to you and says, oh, I just moved into school. I heard you're the PTO president. How can I get involved? How many of you normally would say, well, our meeting is the first Tuesday of the month, 7 p.m.? Man, what a recipe for disaster. So this new enthusiastic parent comes to your meeting, sits in the back, doesn't know a soul. She's probably not welcomed with a great handshake and a name tag. Maybe she is if you're doing a good job. But she sits there and she listens to the treasurer's report and the approval of last month's meeting minutes, a nice debate about whether we should go with Innisbrook or Sally Foster gift wrap. And then at 8:30 at night, she goes home and she had some cold soda or coffee. Wow, painful. Right? Is that going to really get her revved up to get more involved? How about, hey, you want to get involved? We have a great family event next month. Bring your family. Have a great time. We'd love to see you. And come see me and say hello, and I'll show you around, introduce you to some folks. What a better welcome, right? Meetings aren't it. They're fine, but they're no measure of your success. They're really more about the latter. The more folks you get, the more crazy people you have, and the more really regular volunteers you have, that's where your meeting attendance comes from. Great. If you can get 12, you can get 14, awesome. If you can't, but you're still doing good work, fine. If there's nothing to talk about at a meeting, cancel it. Right? There's no upside in having a meeting because it's Tuesday at 7. Right? Email, websites, use them. More. People are busy. And I even think there's this whole thing written about all the time in the press. Oh, 30 years ago, families were different. More 2-parent families. Mom wasn't working. It was easy, 7 p.m. Talk to your mom. I got a pretty good feeling that 30 years ago, meetings still stunk. Right? And folks still didn't go, and there were PTO presidents back then that said, why don't people come to our meetings? It wasn't like, leave it to Beaver for 50 years straight. Right? Meetings still stunk.